We're back with another video. If you are new here, my name is Sammy and we are the Mermaid Gang. This is where you can come and suspend your disbelief. I am your favorite YouTuber and your favorite manifestation coach. So if you would like me to help you dissolve whatever is between you and your manifestation, go ahead and sign up for coaching with me below. They are on sale for the month of December. It's already marked down. You don't need a code. Okay, let's get right into the video. I don't think I have anything to ramble about. Aside from the fact that I didn't get to film as much as I wanted to and use my pretty Christmas set. So she is going to be staying until I'm ready to let her go. And that's gonna be a minute. So when it's January and it's still this, shh, this is my world. You're just living in it. Okay, I don't know if you saw on my community tab the other day, I posted how I was just sitting in the Starbucks drive-thru thinking like, why are we worrying about like trying to fix things? Like we're so heavily conditioned to feeling like there's always something to fix, there's always something to do, there's always something to work on. And I was just thinking like, what if we just decided, actually no, I'm literally perfect and there's nothing to fix and there's nothing to work on. Which when I made the post, raised the question of, or raised the concern, I should say, of, well, what's wrong with working on self-concept and all this other stuff. And my point is that we can just simply decide, and when I say decide, I mean affirm it, condition yourself, that we're already perfect and there's nothing to fix. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing to fix about you. Literally every single thing about you is already perfect. And I mean like mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever way that you think always needs work, or whatever thing you think you need to work on, like, oh, I'm this or I'm this and this is where this holds me back and this is where I need to work on this so that this will work. What if you just said, actually no, I'm literally perfect. Like let's say you struggle with any kind of mental things, or you struggle with procrastination, or you struggle with even things like maybe dyslexia. I'm just giving examples. You struggle, you struggle, anything that you struggle with. What if we just were like, no, actually no. Instead of trying to come up with an affirmation, now you can still come up with a specific direct affirmation for whatever it is that you're revising or changing. But what if you just were like, no, actually everything about me is literally perfect. I'm literally perfect in every way. And what if we just went with that instead of trying to dissect and fix everything? Because like I said, we've been conditioned to nobody is perfect. We've been conditioned to always needing to work on something or fix something or correct something or get past something. My main thoughts about this are the fact that there are still people saying to me, oh, well, do I need to do inner work? Or people commenting saying that they were told they need to do the inner work, or they need to do shadow work, or they need to fix their self-concept. Well, the very best self-concept you could have is, I'm literally perfect in every way. That's the best self-concept you could possibly have. So when people are telling you you need to do your inner work, my problem with inner work, shadow work, stuff like that is what you're focusing on, you're going to create that experience more and more. So if you're constantly focusing on, which actually most everybody is like this, I mean, because of conditioning, like I said, most everybody is in a cycle of fixing what's next. Once one thing gets fixed, then there's something else, and there's something else, and there's something else. And that is what a lot of times, not all times, this is based on beliefs, whatever, not all times, but most of the time, why you can continue finding blocks and bullshit when you're doing shadow work and inner work and all this shit. You can keep finding more stuff. There's never going to be an ending, an end result, a completion. There's never going to be any completion, because you're going to keep creating experiences that make you have to do more inner work, fix more stuff, work on this, fix this. You're gonna keep creating things to fix, because what you focus on is what you keep creating the experience of. So if you're constantly trying to problem solve or find blocks, you're gonna keep creating more blocks to find. What you seek, you will find. Stop seeking, and instead just start telling yourself, you know, actually I'm just perfect. And what did Scott Disick say? I think I'm just perfect, and it's everybody around me that is the problem. Yes, you're just perfect. You have no problems. You're just perfect. You're just perfect. That's it. You're just perfect. If anyone tells you you're not perfect or nobody's perfect, that's bullshit. That is another societal lie to keep you in your place, right where you're supposed to be, where you're not in control. Stay in check. Well, we're not staying in check anymore. We're just perfect, and there is nothing wrong with anyone. You're no longer struggling with whatever you thought you were struggling with. You're actually just perfect, and there's nothing to fix. You're actually just perfect. You're literally just perfect in every way. You're literally just perfect. You're just perfect. You don't have any blocks. You don't have any struggles. You don't have any resistance. You don't have any issues. There's nothing to fix. You're just perfect. That is what I want you to do. I want you to just, like we do with everything else. Yes, Millie is snoring. My dog is snoring. Like we do with everything else, just test it out. Just start saying, every time you think of something that you think you need to fix, every time you think of something that you think needs an adjustment or you need to work on, just say, actually, no, I'm perfect. So yeah, there's no issue here. I'm actually just perfect. I'm literally perfect in every way. I am perfect in every way. I'm perfect. I've always been perfect. And while for some of you that may be harder than it is for others, because we don't know what your conditioning has been growing up or your experiences have been, so no matter if it feels weird at first, just keep doing it anyway. And even if it makes you uncomfortable, there is nothing about you being perfect that should make you uncomfortable. So if it makes you uncomfortable, you need to affirm, okay? You need to affirm more. You are literally perfect. Like, what about being a god of your reality implies that you're anything but perfect? You know, you are perfect. You are limitless. You have no struggles besides the ones that you accept as true for yourself. So if we just decided to stop accepting struggles as true for ourselves, and we just decided, actually, no, that's not a thing for me. I'm actually just perfect in every way, and that's not a thing for me. I have heard plenty of success stories where people have just been so fed up with fighting with something that they just decided, actually, no, actually, I'm just perfect. Actually, I'm good. I'm good. And it just went away, whether it be mental struggles, physical struggles, whatever. It just went away because they were done accepting it as true. There is nothing for you to fix. There's nothing for you to find. There's no problem for you to solve. You're just perfect. And see if your experience doesn't start changing. I know this is a pretty short video. I don't have a whole lot to say on the subject because I did say it in the post, but that is just something that I wanted to come on here and say, is that you can just literally recondition yourself. We're reconditioning ourselves to what we should have already been believing about ourselves, okay? And I want to clarify, when I say affirm, I mean mentally. I mentally affirm. I affirm in my head. And another thing I want to clarify is that the reason you are using repetition, because I actually had someone say, they were told or they heard somewhere that you can affirm all day, every day, but if you're not in the correct state, you won't get it. and that basically affirming is useless. What do you think you're doing when you're affirming? Okay, let me explain to you why we affirm, why we use repetition. It doesn't even have to be affirming. It can be, some people do visualizing, some people do scripting. Either way, it is repetition of a new idea, a new experience. You are in one way or another repeating the experience in your mind that you would like to have in your life, right? Okay, that's what we're doing. That's what manifesting is. We are living an experience, whether it be by affirming it, scripting it, or visualizing it. We are reliving over and over and over an experience in our mind that we would like to experience in our life. Very simple, to the point. That is what manifesting is. So what you are doing is you are making your subconscious familiar with that experience that you want over and over and over again. The repetition is to familiarize your subconscious with the experience that you would like to have and to eradicate the one that you don't want anymore. You're replacing it. That's where your opposing thoughts come from. Your subconscious is already familiar with this certain current experience that you no longer want, okay? It's already familiar with it. So that is why when you are changing your thoughts, when you're affirming or you're, manifesting something different, that is why you start to waver or have opposing thoughts. That is why they come up, because your subconscious is trying to show you what it is currently familiar with. But this is where the repetition comes in. This is why I say I don't give a fuck what all these other teachers say about repetition not being needed and it's stupid and you can't come on here and tell people that they should just decide that they are now experiencing something that their subconscious is not familiar with. Their repetition is the way to make the subconscious familiar with the new experience, and then therefore it can be experienced in the 3D, in their 3D, okay? Shut up if you're not a fan of repetition. Then show me what you've manifested that is so freaking far off from what you already have by just simply deciding. Sorry, but that's not gonna work for 130 something, 140,000 people. Just deciding. That is something that used to frustrate the fuck out of me when I was learning, when they would just say, oh, just decide, just feel it and let it go. Or that never worked for me. I stand by repetition, because when every single thing that a lot of them are the same teachers, by the way. When I was doing it their way, I never got shit. I didn't get shit until I started using repetition, and repetition has worked for me quickly within days. It usually works for me within just a few days, because I know that if I affirm, that's the faster my subconscious is gonna get familiar with it, and the faster it's going to fucking work. That's how it works. I don't care. Nobody else's way worked for me. If just simply deciding works for you, great, but it's not going to work for majority of people. They're just going to end up frustrated and sad and not understanding why, because they're not even working through their opposing thoughts. When your subconscious is familiar with one thing and you're trying to decide you now have a brand new experience, you're gonna have some opposing thoughts there. Your subconscious is gonna be like, wait, no, this is what we currently believe. This is what I'm currently familiar with. You're going to need the repetition to work through that. People like to think of repetition like it's just gonna take so much work and so much time, but you're thinking all day long. You can literally use repetition and get what you want within a day or two, or even a week. Stop demonizing repetition when it has been such a key success for so many people. You are making your subconscious familiar with the experience that you want to have. So make your mind familiar with the fact that you are perfect. There's nothing to change. There's nothing to work on. There's nothing to problem solve. You're already perfect, and just everything about you is perfect, and there's nothing to fix. Okay, that was my whole point. I just had to go on a little rant because that was bothering me. I've had a few emails recently where my clients have seen other teachers demonize repetition, and it's just like, shut up. Because half of the ones that are demonizing it don't have anything to show for their way. So, just use the damn repetition. Now, if you're somebody who can just decide, that's great. That is wonderful for you. But I'm not gonna come on here and just tell all of my 140,000 subscribers, just decide. They need a more realistic approach and way to go about things. And that's what I'm going to give them. I know it works for me. I know it has been a fail-proof for me. It has worked for me every single time, even just robotically affirming. We just did that challenge of robotically affirming, which is just more proof that repetition fucking works. And in my opinion, it's the key. So, anyway, we'll end the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we out.